What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. So in today's video, I want to address Biden's big promises. What were they and what did we see? We knew there was a $200 Social Security boost to all recipients. That was one of his big promises, and according to many of you, you have stated that is one of the reasons why you voted for him. We also know that there's the $10,000 in student debt forgiveness. That is still technically on the table. Many lawmakers are actually pushing for this, but I want to address what's actually happening. Because over the past few months, many lawmakers have brought up the promises that President Biden made while campaigning for president. And the two main ones were just the $200 per month and $10,000 for student debt forgiveness. Now, there was another promise though. And this is something that many people look at as the beginning of the lies. Okay? Now, I'm not here to say that President Biden lied, because there was nothing that said that President Biden and the Biden administration were going to pass $200 a month boost for Social Security recipients within the first year. Technically, I guess he has 4 years. And student debt forgiveness, again, technically, he has 4 years. But this is what many people are pointing to as the beginning of these lies. And this was that President Biden promised he would get every single American a $2,000 stimulus check if all they did was voted Democrat in the Georgia runoff election. And that's what Georgians did. They voted Democrat. Both seats went to Democrats. This made it a 50-50 split in the Senate, which meant that Democrats had control. But President Biden, he didn't provide a $2,000 stimulus check. Instead, he gave the American people a $1,400 check to go along with a $600 check that was already sent out under the Trump administration. But now, Democratic lawmakers have been quietly discussing building trust with the American people once again. Now, I want to bring this up because right now, a lot of people are saying they don't trust the administration. They don't believe what they're going to say. Or they don't believe what they're actually going to do just because they say it. Now, not only has President Biden not provided on his promises, Democrats, then progressives, moderates, doesn't matter. They promised either a big transformative bill that would help millions of Americans that are currently struggling. Moderates promise to make sure that we don't go deeper and deeper into a deficit. So there's two different promises. Both contradict each other. Now here's the problem. Moderate Democrats completely changed progressives' plan when they refused to vote on the House-passed $2.2 trillion human infrastructure bill. And this, I mean moderates in the Senate. But why does this all matter? And why now? Here's what we know. Democrats are tired of trying to make up for what was once promised and never delivered. And they're urging the Biden administration and President Biden himself to pass at least part of the Build Back Better Act so that they can go back to their constituents with something. Right now they have nothing. So what do? And then we have lawmakers that say the only real issue right now is student debt forgiveness. And this has to be done, completed, before May 1st. That is when the student debt payments or student payments, the pause actually expires. So students would have to start repaying their debt, repaying interest. That is, according to many, is going to be a huge, huge issue because many people will not be able to afford it. Now, Senator Chuck Schumer and Elizabeth Warren are the two that have been calling for this pretty much for an entire year. We know Representative AOC and Pramila Jayapal both continue to ask for student debt forgiveness. And this is looking more likely to be included in some bill at some point in the future before the midterm elections. Now, I want to bring something else up. Before I get into the promise of the $200 Social Security boost, I want to bring up something that I think a lot of people are missing. When we hear lawmakers say, let's just pass something. Let's get something out because our constituents need to see that we are working. what you need to keep in mind is that yes, lawmakers may be working, but the problem is, are they working on the things that they promised? And the answer as of right now is no. Because many lawmakers have promised the moon, promised everything in this world, but they can't deliver. And it's because we have a 50-50 split Senate. That's creating a lot of issues. Now, the reason why so many are urging President Biden to pass just something is because they want to be able to take something back to their voters and say, hey, look what we did. Look what we provided you. And according to a recent report, they're saying the reason for this is because there was so many promises left unfulfilled that now lawmakers have to go and just figure out a way to get voters to forget about what they once promised. And the only way to do that is to give us something else. So, we're going to see what happens there. As of right now, it's not looking great. These promises that the Biden administration made, that Democrats made, even that Republicans made, a lot of them are unfulfilled. Now, let's get to that $200 per month Social Security boost. Because according to a recent report, the Social Security fund is not getting a whole lot stronger. But yes, things are looking better. Okay? However, according to this report, they say things are not looking good enough to provide a $200 per month boost to all recipients. They say the good news is that the average worker is now paying more into Social Security these days because of recent raises that people have seen. But the other issue is we still have millions and millions of workers that are yet to go back to work. And they are still not even collecting unemployment. They're just not able to find an open position. And because of that, they aren't paying into the system. There's no more money going back into the Social Security fund, right? And so that's the issue. And according to a recent report, lawmakers are considering a larger earned income tax credit for seniors. They also say that they want to go back to President Biden's initial campaign and use some of the things that he was running on. One of these things, under his plan, while running for president, was he outlined that any worker that worked for more than 30 years, 30 years, would receive a Social Security minimum benefit of at least 125% of the federal poverty level. However, that has so far stalled as well. Now, reports also indicate that right now, there are other things that President Biden is working on. And right now, mainly due to the fact that he doesn't believe he could get all 50 Senate Democrats on board with anything dealing with Social Security. So, getting the majority of a 50-50 split Senate on board, according to reports, would be extremely tough. And especially during these times of high inflation and another COVID surge, many Democrats would not push to see Social Security only as the group of people that get this additional benefit. And so that's the other problem. And remember, I told you this, I don't know, I probably said it earlier this week, probably said it last week as well, that one of the issues, and it's a big issue, is that lawmakers, they don't just want to provide just a little bit to, let's say, Social Security recipients or students or just families with children, or just individuals. They don't want to just go and put a little bit of or a lot of money into just one pocket of people, because as they put money into just parents, guess what? Then seniors don't want to vote for those Democrats because, well, you passed a bill that only provided for one group of people. Not everybody, one group. You targeted one specific group. But what makes it more important for families and children to get money than seniors or vets or students? That's the issue, is that nobody can agree that, okay, let's just take this amount of money that we have, let's split it, let's evenly split it, and let's give some to children and families, let's give some to people on Social Security and people on a fixed income, let's get some to students and people with massive amounts of debt, right, so that they can hopefully get back on their feet. That's not what anyone's talking about. Because they're saying that no, we can't split the $1.75 trillion because as we split it, it will pretty much do absolutely nothing because the amount will be so small if you split it amongst all the Democratic priorities. So, as of right now, President Biden's big promises are pretty much falling flat. The other issue is there's new promises coming out, and those will likely fall flat as well. I was reading the other day that multiple lawmakers, they want to pass this bill before March 1st, when President Biden delivers his State of the Union address. However, promising that at this point would be a critical mistake, because just compounding the issues, compounding these failed promises, it's not going to work. So we're going to see what happens, but here's what I can tell you. There are private discussions regarding the student debt forgiveness. There's private discussions regarding some form of a boost to Social Security recipients. It will most likely not be $200 per month, but it would most likely be something. And these discussions, they are slow moving. They've been going on for months. So don't expect a bunch of answers over the next couple weeks. That's probably not what we're going to get. We will probably get more delays. That's what's expected. So as we get these any additional news, I promise I will fill you in on what's going on. I just want to thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.